저는 밤 공기를 맡는 게 너무 좋더라고요. 검에만 가장 집중할 수 있다고 해야 할까? 오로지 검 끝과 상대밖에 보이지 않아서.
Backdoor volatility indeed. Greetings and salutations, everyone. I'm Mechamac. This is Limbus Company. Walpurgis Night is here. And the Miracle in District 20 extraction appears to be over. Unfortunate. Let's just see if we can get something interesting on these first couple of pulls. That looks interesting!
이렇게 영롱하게 빛나는 초롱을 본 적 있는가? 이 몸과 있으면 어둠이 우리를 피해 도망다닐 것이네.
We got 2 in a row. Sure. Yeah, we didn't get anything that interesting from it, but we do have lunacy to burn should we need to. Hello?
내 앞에 서지 말도록. 악마가 깃든 탄원의 관역 중 하나가 되고 싶은 게 아니라면.
Okay, so the Ideality Exchange can be used to get your hands on announcers which also appear in this round, but that's not the important point right now. The important point is I want to uptie these new identities. Yeah. Oof. So at the moment we have skill aggro on everything, lots of rupture, and a passive that it boosts clash power when you have aggro. But the main point is that when you finish... This gives us the story segment for this identity. And I'm very curious as to how Donnie got out of poking the flesh lantern. 'Tis day 15! What a busy day it was. Though it has only been 4 days since I was assigned to the training team, it feels as though I have done enough work to fill years' worth of toil. Merryband gains 1 or 2 new employees as the day go by, yet they seem to disappear the very next day. Verily, I have nary a time to remember their faces. Well, it is said that employees here are oft moved from department to department, from team to team. It must simply be the case that the new employees have been assigned to places better fit for their expertise. I was once again assigned work with 0484. Apologize. I was once again assigned work with a young lantern today. It would be veracious to say my dear fellow lantern had once again escaped from the confinements to bloom a flower elsewhere. I had little choice but to haul young lantern back to the containment unit to conduct mine work. Many times have I warned my good fellow that no game of hide and seek is to be played without a proper announcement of ready or not, here I come, yet young lantern refuseth to heed mine words. Unlike other abnormalities here, young lantern doth not trigger a particular alarm with its escapades. I, as the employee tasked with handling our young lantern fellow, oft come to a late realization upon noticing the tragic vacancy of young lantern's containment unit, or upon noticing a sudden spike in disappearance of fellow employees in a particular area. When I realize that and hurry to that suspicious area, voila! A young lantern can be found hiding there indeed. Choosing a containment unit entrance most random, blooming a flower there, gobbling up innocent young employees and turning them into manure. I can hardly let such mischief stand. I regret to inform thee that I had little choice but to smack its hiney a few times, before herding it back to containment unit. Then I had conducted a list of work that were to be completed today. 'Twere the grooming procedure, adjustment of lighting intensity. Yet I also wish to conduct an additional work on the young lantern. I had to converse with it regarding the mischief from earlier today. Forsooth, I shall not let this Outis go without proper consequence. However, prithee think, can thee find within thyself cruelty to punish such a plush, fluffy creature such as this? I had not the heart to punish it properly, and had to make do with petting it a tad harsher than usual. Perhaps mine own heart was far too tender for this kind of work. Well, thus I departed the containment unit and submitted the PE boxes. Which is when I heard the siren ring all across the company hallway. Perhaps it was time for an ordeal indeed. Lady Outis, Captain Outis was mid-work in one of the containment units, so she could not be a part of the ordeal suppression team. On account of the first responder team's failure to suppress the ordeal, some containment units had fallen. Among the friends I made to the hallway were, one of my former responsibilities, the Fraggy of the Universe. It had designed to give me with this adorable heart-shaped badge, saying to me that I had to lightly bonk it and haul it back to its respective chamber. Alas, a job is a job. The company hath trusted my judgment enough to assign me with these responsibilities, and thus I must answer the call. If a work hath been assigned, I shall meet it with gusto, and complete it with heart full of joy. Thus doth my daily journaling come to an end. Well, at least she didn't get eaten by the meat lantern. The thing is, I remember what it was supposed, the mechanics behind that one breaching. It was always, oh, you completed your work too fast. Well, screw you. Anyway, oof. I do not have enough threads to finish off a 000 identity, so... So yeah, this is a burn ID, definitely. In less than 4 magic bullet, gain 1 magic bullet. Inflict dark flame equal to magic bullet next turn. Deal 0.5% damage for every burn. Gain 1 magic bullet. Lose times 5 magic bullet SP. Attack weight becomes equal to that. If we're 10 or less, 50% chance to attack randomly. Hang on, let me do the numbers. 7 magic bullet resets to 0, so that means that 7 times 5 is 35. Yikes, this means that no matter how much SP she has, her final shot always has a chance to be indiscriminate. That's problematic. Lose SP equal to magic bullet for using the shield, huh? Anyway, let's see what story you have. An ordeal is coming. The child scoffed lightly despite the marksman's serious declaration. Ordeals were merely an expected part of life in this place. Such an ominous warning was nothing but pointless dramatization. Seemingly recognizing the child's nonchalant response, the entity continued. No, this will be an ordeal far beyond your capabilities. Words were unnecessary. The child could see exactly what the entity was talking about, as though she was living through it. It all begins in this hallway. It devours the fears and horrors that flee. It scours for the veiled guilt hiding in the deep corners of this place. It continues to search for more sacrifices to be embraced. When you are left all by your lonesome, after the trumpets of the apocalypse roar, you have no choice but to put that miserable bullet in your own temple. child remained wordless, puffs of smoke from her pipe her only response. It hurt her throat and eyes, but she enjoyed watching the plume fade away inches from the abyss. There was once a time when she never even thought of bringing a thing like the smoking pipe anywhere near her mouth. Unless you are to enter into a contract with me, that is. The following events played out before the child's eye. The bullets pierce through everyone, everything that dares to stand in her way. Their skulls shatter to 1,000 pieces. That single, indiscriminate bullet. And in that scene of destructive pandemonium, the child feels the same feeling she felt when she took the first drag of the smoking pipe. She also came to certain understanding that what the entity offered her was not the bullet that never misses. It offered her a bullet that will never stop until it strikes the one its user loves the most. Yet the child... Fine, I accept your contract. You already have. You did the moment you saw what played out before your eyes. As the marksman finished his sentence, the child suddenly realized that she was ready to fire the bullet at any moment. Oh, how I look forward to that very day. To see what choice you'd make after putting that bullet into the skull of the one you love most. You must know that I may very well be your future. She still availed the entity nothing but a brief scoff. Is that what you think? Thus the final destination of the bullet was revealed. The child had nothing left but her singular goal. It really doesn't tell us which one is speaking, does it? That she would survive these ordeals and return home no matter what. She would give anything if she could return, even if the cruelest of causes would be mercy and blessing. The bullet will pierce everyone, everything that stands in her way. In the end, it will return with her to her home. It will fly past all those that the child loved, even those that she loved when she could not. And eventually, I see, if it means the trajectory of this contract will be altered, you are willing to deceive anyone. Precisely, even myself, if I must. Fly toward her own skull. And in her final moment, the child will go out wearing that same confident grin. Has she deceived even herself for her singular goal? Or is that merely an expression of her true feelings appearing moments before the end? Alas, the answers will never be known, but that is how this contract will end. Because the child will gladly meet the altered trajectory of her own making. Interesting. But unlike the other, Walpurgis Night, this one comes with actual content. So, let's go check that out. I'm not sure how I want to tackle it. Yeah, Walpurgis event. I'm not exactly sure what team I want to bring to this nonsense. Yeah, let's give this a shot. So the way that these work from what I've read is that you're given a very large number of turns and need to reach a certain amount of damage in that time. This is green lights blinding our eyes and loud arms rupturing our eardrums. I've gotten used to it by now. Ugh. I've been wrested from my refuge of sleep once again. Thanks to the alarm, the sinners begin waking up one by one from their naps. Walpurgis night has descended once again. Even amidst the chaos, Faust remained as calm as ever. She walked up to the helm and shut off the alarm. Already? I thought it was supposed to be a really rare occurrence. Yes, it is a rare occurrence, but its frequency is not something we can reliably predict. guess going back to sleep's out of the question now. So there's a chance that it goes off next week too. The possibility is there, yes, but I don't believe that would happen so soon. It takes some time for Mephistopheles' engine to resonate. Ah. Faust, who was busily interfacing with the device while answering Rhodia's question, came to a sudden stop. What's up? Is there something wrong? No, everything is under control. This is within the predictable range of variables for one such volatility. I merely paused to contemplate how should I explain this to you and the rest of the sinners, Dante. Considering that this will be a new environment for all of you, that is. New environment? I looked at her curiously, but I didn't voice my concerns. She was already walking toward the back door. Faust was not going to answer my question anyway. It is said that a picture is worth 1,000 words. In this case, a first-hand experience. Yep, knew it. Ooh, thus our humdrum daily lives are spruced up once again! You know, it wasn't that long ago that you were scurrying all over the cabin and placing weird decorations everywhere. Don't tell me that you're already tired of it. Forsooth! I believe that we've had more than enough celebration for that occasion. Dante, please lead the way. The bored sinners seemed to find this new possibility of an adventure somewhat exciting. They slowly got up from their seats with enthusiasm. We again made our way to the back door. Dante, the door on which this volatility occurred is in the direction of the dungeons. Oh, so we've got to head toward my room. Yes, please open the door. She did say something about the corridor changing depending on who opened the door. I walked across the corridor, trying to recall what Faust once told me. Nice, we're not going to the restricted zone this time. Unlike the other time we had to, while off-duty, jump to the rescue of two idiots who decided to saunter in there despite the repeated warnings. I won't do it again, alright? You've gone against the warning twice already. You are far from the most trustworthy sinner among us. Agreed. Ugh. I've done it only once, in case thou weren't aware. Shut it, you! I'm starting to enjoy this raucousness among the sinners. Hoping that this camaraderie would last for a long, long time, I turned the handle and opened the door. Huh? That door. Right, the door had transformed into an oddly familiar shape. This looks like one of those doors we saw back at one of the lobotomy core branches. It is identical. It appears that different shapes are overlapping over the door, but all of them are of the same design. Correct. The overlapping shapes are more clear evidence that Walpurgis Night has returned. Opening now. Door creeps open and another corridor appears before us. So this is another lobotomy core branch in it. The longer I look at it, the more familiar it becomes. This place definitely looks a lot like those lobotomy core branches we've been to. Oi, smartass. If we could just pop open a door leading straight into one of them branches, why are we doing any of this tour bus business? Ain't we wasting time and effort out here? There are numerous inaccuracies in your statement that must be corrected. I will tackle them in reverse order of your presentation. First, Walpurgis Night is an unpredictable event that not even I could predict. To base our entire operations on such an unstable element would be a plan most foolish. I suppose that's true. Heath, let's try to think a little before we speak, Kay? Heathcliff scowled at Rhodia's remark, but soon grew dejected once he noticed that the other sinners were nodding in agreement. Well, I won't completely deny the possibility of pursuing that method. However, I must clarify that this is not a real lobotomy core branch of the city, merely a result of Walpurgis Night's mutation of the corridor. Therefore, I can say with quite the certainty that this does not align with our current mission, which is to retrieve the golden boughs from the branches existing in our current reality. Right. Will you stop it with the lecture when I apologise for speaking without thinking? As I have said previously, I won't completely deny the possibility of pursuing that method. Besides, there are more inaccuracies to be addressed. More? I didn't think that there was anything more for her to correct, but Faust clearly seemed to think that there was another critical error in Heathcliff's statement. Without even flinching, and wearing that serious expression, she looked into the distance. This is not one of the lobotomy core branches, Faust muttered. Not one of them? So this isn't a lobotomy core facility? This is not a branch. We are at lobotomy core headquarters of the past. Its point in time and the branch of possibility uncertain. So this is the broken wing? Indeed, we find ourselves at a control team hallway of the former L-Corps headquarters. I can sense the rising apprehension among the sinners. So this is where it happened. I don't remember it since it happened before my amnesia, but everyone in the city knows about that incident. The source of the blinding light that enveloped the city for days, which then sunk everyone into utter darkness for the next. But Faust appears unaffected by the general air of anxiety of those around her. Instead, she continues to look off into the distance, away from the sinners. Maybe it's because she doesn't care, or maybe what she already knows doesn't faze her. Are you waiting for something, Faust? I am. There is more to this volatility than the volatility phenomena we have experienced in the past. Soon it will... Before Faust finished, the lights of the corridor suddenly switched colours. It has begun. What treachery is this? Is this what they call sight burial? A different siren would play if an event of magnitude requiring that level of response had occurred. Then what the hell is this? No, I'm really not liking the look of that red light. They're here, ahead. I followed the tip of Faust's finger, which pointed toward the same direction she'd been looking at this entire time. Steam of unknown origin began to coalesce there. Is that a machine? And a bizarre machine of sorts appeared there. This is an ordeal. Color green, time dawn. All units! Don't need you to spell it out for us. That messing pile of scrap's coming this way. Everyone seemed to know that something like this was going to happen. They prepared for battle, warily eyeing the mysterious machine. That an abnormality too? No, wait, it feels more like a peccatulum? I instinctively blurted out the immediate sense they gave off, and looked to Faust. She'll know what to say. Instead of giving me an answer, however, Faust brandished the Zweihander and stepped forward. We must first suppress the entities. Dante, prepare the identity cards. Well, we had a lot of work to down.
오늘도 즐거운 하루의 시작이네. 그렇지? 잠시만, 볼륨 좀 확인해 볼게. 대답 소리가 잘 들리지 않아서.
Okay, it looks like this one is going to be one of these messy, unfocused encounters. So, let's start off by going for a lust resonance. Okay, what does Control Team Captain give you? Modify skill pool. Gain 1 use of skill 3 but lose 1 use of skill 1. When this unit defeats an enemy with skill 2, 2 allies, including this unit, gain, with at least 10 SP, healed 25 SP, gain 2 ego resources corresponding to the affinity of this... Oh wait, no, it's not a skill 2, it's just any skill. Gain 2 ego resources to the affinity of the skill that defeated the enemy, and 1 to all other affinities. So we want our Control Team Captain to do a lot. If this unit has shield HP, deal 2 bleed on. Okay, they're weak to Lust, Wrath, Pride, but also Pierce and Blunt, so it's mainly a slash team that isn't going to work out here.
내가 눈에 새겨주지. 예측대로군. 빈틈 투성이로군. 핫! 쓰러졌군.
대체들의 체력이 많이 깎여 나갔어. 괴로워하는 게
보냈고.
느껴지지 않아? 이 기세로 계속 나아가보자.
한놈.
와, 성공했어. 보여? 개체가 더 이상 움직이지 않네. 이대로 남은 대상들도 전부 움직일 수 없게 만들어보자.
Ooh, we actually don't have much in the way of gloom production, do we? Where'd you get that? I guess that was actually the shield effect then.
내가 눈에 새겨주지.
제가 물었네요. 방금 공격은 좋았어. 이대로만 계속해보면 좋을 텐데.
벌써 끝나간다.
우리가 우세를 점하고 있어. 하지만 여기서 방심하면 안 돼. 지휘팀이라면 완벽하고 빈틈없이 모든 걸 끝마쳐야 하지 않겠어?
Wait a minute. Doubt beta, doubt beta. There's multiple types of doubt here, even though they all look the same at a glance. Counter skills, block skills, and evade skills. Okay, good to know. Now here's the thing, I brought Ensign Claire, which was actually a pretty big mistake. He's good at helping us achieve the Lust Resonance, but because we're killing so many enemies, it's going to completely flood his SP pool and he's going to be losing a lot of power on his attacks.
방금 했던 공격은 매우 효과적이었어. 하지만 아직 부족해. 다음 공격... 우리가 우세를 점하고 있어. 하지만 여기서 방심하면 안 돼. 지휘팀이라면 완벽하고 빈틈없이 모든 걸 끝마쳐야 하지 않겠어?
Why do we have 50% damage this turn? Do they have some sort of passive?
직접 나서지.
그 오물을 가져가라.
On the upside, I think this does actually trigger Sinclair's special effects for bonus damage. So he's at least not totally useless.
보냈고.
와, 성공했어! 보여? 개체가 더 이상 움직이지 않네. 이대로 남은 대상들도 전부 움직일 수 없게 만들어보자.
Okay, yeah, that's at least going to do a lot of damage there. I really want... Oof. We're having some bad luck with the Ishmael's speed.
다치십니다.
I want her to go first so she can throw out her blind obsession attack, but it seems like we're not getting that lucky.
여기에는 네 약한 부분도 쓰여있지. 자, 여기.
Oh. The graphics weren't quite prepared for that.
여행엔 목적이 있었지.
그 오물을
맘. 벌써 끝나간다.
Oh. Eventually we managed to reduce the machines to a pile of scrap metal. Whew. For fast. There's got to be a reason we decided to stand our ground and fight instead of shutting the door on them, right? Yes, we stand to gain more reward by defeating them than by fleeing. Reward? Gregor repeated, clearly expecting her to elaborate. Forster ignored his gesture and instead began to observe the walls and items around her. What were the nature of these entities? Yiseng stood next to Forster and began to muse alongside her. They are entities that used to appear in Lobotomy Corps headquarters. Entities similar yet different to the abnormalities. Lobotomy Corps headquarters used to call them ordeals. Ordeals, I see. Then was this corridor, which is clearly not a containment unit, also utilized for containing certain entities as well? These monsters have a tendency to spontaneously appear during certain periods. Monsters like monsters of the outskirts? I suppose that is one way of looking at it. However, that comparison may grow increasingly inaccurate as we delve further into the technicalities. All I can share with you is that you will eventually come to know more of it, Dante. Like Nocturnal March of 100 Demons. I like it. Oh Dante, there's something I must inform you. Yeah? There is a high chance of these ordeals or encounters of similar intensity appearing from these volatilities. I recommend challenging every occurrence of these encounters. So she says it, guys. I really don't like this lighting. I welcome thy preposition. 'Tis two birds with one stone indeed. We may find entertainment as we train ourselves to be better. Except for Force and Yiseng, who were quietly exchanging their observations, each sinner began to loudly share their impressions. Well, I guess that's a more reasonable preposition then. Let's just doze off in the bus until we find land. Hopefully Forst or Yiseng will one day find the time to explain their findings to me. Right, we had to get moving. I approached the sinners to get us going. So yeah, you only get so many turns to burn through as many of those tin cans as you possibly can. Blunt or pierce
훌륭한 전시회였어.
with wrath. We didn't quite make it.
고맙다고 말해야 하나?
But all things said, you still did a pretty good job. I don't know whether I'd want to use a W Corps captain though, because it would also mean that they have less use of their... It means they get double uses of their ultimate attacks, but also double chances for that to backfire horrendously. And now we can go for hard mode, which presumably doesn't automatically level you up. So, defeated 15 in a single encounter. Defeat all of them in a single encounter. Defeat I don't know the whole number. Defeat the Y level. Defeat the Omega level to get some thread. Complete a suppression without any ally deaths. Complete a suppression without any ally panics. Defeat 3 with a single attack. We haven't hit that mark yet. Okay, we need to defeat 10 by the captain. And complete the suppression with the control team captain and taking less than 10 hits. We've done that. In hard, we have Oh, wow. Make it up to 77 kills in a single encounter. Defeat 3 of the Y. Wait, Dawn of Doubt Y. I don't see the difference. It looks like it's just giving me extra rewards for the same thing. And defeat the Omegas. Complete suppression without allied deaths. Defeat 7 with 1 attack. Okay, that would definitely be something that we'd need Blind Obsession for. Dawn of Green Entities defeated by the Control Team Captain. Complete the suppression with the Control Team Captain, surviving and taking less than 5 hits. You also get Lunacy for completing all the missions, so yikes. This is definitely something I'm going to have to restructure my team to get proper abilities for, so maybe I'll make another video on this showing my best attempt, but chances are I'd more likely just go on the forums and see what other people are doing and test it out on my own. Either way though, until next time guys, take care. I'll see you all around.
저는 밤 공기를 맡는 게 너무 좋더라고요. 검에만 가장 집
나 소리 나지 않게 기습하는 법을 훈련하느라 진짜 고생 많이 했어. 방금 환상체의 탈출을 알리는 경보음이 들리지 않았는가? 빨리 해! 비켜보시게! 이 몸이 나설 차례이니!